That means you just don't trust their report at all?
Absolutely, 100% do not trust this because...
Here's what I love about these fake-triots. Not patriots, fake-triots in the Republican Party. Guys who act like, Tommy Tuberville, I'm the most military person ever lived. Nobody's more military than me. Never served. Kind of the same deal with Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma. Acts like a patriot, wants to make America strong, wants to keep our national security posture firm, right, on a good foundation. And part of that good foundation is not revealing, not releasing, not spilling, not leaking highly sensitive, top secret information during a CNN live broadcast like he did last night. In an effort to defend Donald Trump's claim that Iran's nuclear program has been absolutely decimated, annihilated, obliterated, he prostrated himself before the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces to push back against Donald Trump's own Defense Intelligence Agency. And in the process of doing so, revealed very likely sources and methods, revealing that we have human intelligence sources on the ground, which would mean they're very likely Iranian agents working in service to the United States to give us information about what took place during this attack. Very sensitive, because it gets to sources and methods of our information, of our intelligence. How are we getting that? How do they know that? He says, no, it's not from eyeballs in the sky. This is from eyes on the ground, which means boots on the ground. Senators, especially Markwayne Mullin, are not authorized to declassify any intelligence whatsoever. That rests with the President of the United States. So Donald Trump also has said something similar to this, which doesn't mean it was declassified just by him saying it. But Markwayne Mullin here is doing a disservice to the men and women in uniform who risk their lives in foreign countries and hostile territory to keep the homeland secure. So in revealing this information that I'm getting ready to play this clip of, he's endangering American lives. He's endangering the American security posture, national security itself. Also, he can back up Donald Trump's claims and lies about the efficacy of the military strike. He will endanger the American people for Donald Trump. Is that patriotism or is that fake-triotism? Watch this.
This report that we are getting from the DIA itself, what it has put together, it says the core components of the nuclear program were not destroyed and that neither was the enriched uranium.
Well, Caitlin,
that's more than just the knowledge.
Yeah, but Caitlin, this is a report from DIA. Now, for your listeners, let's break down what DIA is and what DNI is, which is what Tulsi Gabbard, because I think that's important. Tulsi Gabbard is the Director of National Intelligence. DIA is the Director, or is the Defense Intelligence Agency. They don't have eyes in the ground, they have eyes in the sky. This is a report that was incomplete, that wasn't supposed to be released, and we don't even know where they were finding their findings because the ICs, the intelligence community that actually have eyes on the ground, eyes on the target, which is where we're getting our initial reports from. Those were the people that were in country. DIA does not have people in country that was providing this assessment. We know that this was a complete success. Now, that success means that our delivery system and what our target was on time and was effectively did exactly what we wanted it to do.
Well, first off, let me say, no one is doubting that the B-2 bombers carried out their mission and struck exactly the targets that they were told to hit. No one is doubting that. The question is the claim being made by the president that it obliterated this. You just said the DIA does not do this, but the DIA is part of the Pentagon. The Pentagon is what carried out these strikes, sir. And the director of the DIA is a 3-star military officer who is the principal advisor to the Secretary of Defense, is he not?
That doesn't mean that they have eyes on it. Our eyes on it did not come from DIA. I was in the intel. That means you just
don't trust their report at all?
Absolutely, 100% do not trust this because the report wasn't a collective of the ICs, which the ICs, by the way, would go through, which is why I wanted to say this, DNI, which is, it would go through the Director of National Intelligence. For the DIA to put out a report without the collective bargaining of all our ICs, as you said, there's 18 of them, and I can assure you, Caitlin, we don't have 18 agencies, intelligence agencies working on in Iran. That would be disastrous. We have a few, actually we have less than a few. We have really only one plus our allies that are working in there, and that did not include any of their assessment. So how could you have a complete report given it from their assessment only, and their assessments are only coming from eyes in the sky, not eyes on the ground?
Two takeaways here. I absolutely 100% don't trust Donald Trump's Defense Intelligence Agency. He trusts Donald Trump, not the actual experts, the subject matter experts, the people who have dedicated their lives to analyzing intelligence data, raw data. Donald Trump has no experience in this whatsoever. Donald Trump had to have like an action-packed, like anime coloring book put together to keep his attention, to pay attention to daily briefings. He's an objective, stupid person, despite what MAGA world and the cult would have you believe about the man who they believe to be a glorious savior of the Republic. That's number one, that he doesn't trust. The other thing that I think is more important and more stark is that you just watched him spill national security secrets, very likely outing sources on the ground who aren't American, who are providing intelligence relative to the efficacy of the strike. How is this not treason? How is this not a crime, at the very least? All for Donald Trump and his benefit, to propagandize and bootlick, or lick wherever Markwayne Mullin is fond of licking on Donald Trump. Anyway, what do you think? I would appreciate your feedback in this. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, as always, daily@dollemore.com. I want to have a conversation about this with you. Please consider supporting this work. You can click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month. Not three, or you could do $3. I would appreciate that very much. Supporting independent media in this age with this kind of shit going on is most important. More important now. It's not most important. There's a lot of other things that are worthy of supporting, but this is one of them. And if you're into it and I bring you value, please consider that. You can also go over to my Patreon page, patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Before I go check out a video I've been talking about today from Garrison Hayes, an absolute brilliant creator on this platform who needs more attention. A rising tide lifts all boats. The better he does, the better we all do. And he interviewed President Obama, about what ended up being a pretty inspirational talk. I think you should check it out. I'll link to it below, and I'll see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.